Every day, whether we realize it or not, we are living with an invisible threat. This threat doesn't come from a virus or bacteria, but from something far more insidious: tiny plastic particles so small that they slip past our senses and lodge themselves deep within our bodies. Recent scientific discoveries have revealed just how far these microplastics have infiltrated our lives, not only polluting the environment, but now polluting us as well. And what's even more alarming, mounting evidence suggests these particles might be subtly fueling one of the most feared diseases of our time: cancer. Microplastics are defined as plastic fragments less than 5 millimeters in size, but many are much, much smaller, down to the nanoscale. These particles originate from a bewildering array of sources: the gradual breakdown of larger plastic waste, synthetic fibers shed during laundry, microbeads from personal care products, and even tire dust released as cars drive. With every sip of water, every breath of air, and every bite of food, we are unintentionally consuming these microscopic invaders. Scientists have now detected microplastics in human blood, in our lungs, in the liver, and even within the delicate tissues of the placenta. This means that exposure begins before we're even born, making this not just an individual issue, but a generational one. But what happens after these plastic particles enter our bodies? The latest research is beginning to unravel that mystery, and the answers are raising urgent concerns. A 2025 study published in Environmental Science, Processes and Impacts highlighted that microplastics can penetrate deep into our cells, even reaching the very structures where our DNA is stored. Once there, these particles can trigger the production of reactive oxygen species, or ROS, highly reactive molecules that create what scientists call oxidative stress. Imagine your cells as finely tuned machines. Oxidative stress is like throwing sand in the gears, causing parts to wear out faster, malfunction, or break down entirely. Over time, this rust can lead to mutations in your DNA, damage to vital proteins and lipids, and ultimately may trigger the first steps toward the development of cancer. Yet, the threat doesn't end with oxidative stress. Chronic inflammation is another key player. Our immune systems are designed to respond to foreign invaders, but when microplastics settle in our tissues, they provoke an ongoing low-level immune reaction. Recent reviews, including one from Frontiers in Public Health in 2024, have shown that microplastics can activate pro-inflammatory pathways, specifically by releasing cytokines like interleukin-1 beta and interleukin-6. This chronic inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire within our tissues, disrupting normal cellular process, impairing immune surveillance, and creating a microenvironment where cancerous cells can thrive and even spread. Inflammation is not just an innocent bystander in cancer. It is increasingly seen as a driver, helping tumors evade the immune system and encouraging them to metastasize. There's also the Trojan horse effect. Microplastics aren't just plastic. They can absorb and carry a cocktail of harmful chemicals from the environment, including heavy metals and persistent organic pollutants. Once inside our bodies, these toxic hitchhikers can be released, compounding the damage and increasing the risk of cellular dysfunction and disease. Some recent laboratory studies have even observed that when cancer cells are exposed to microplastics, they become more mobile and invasive, an early warning sign that these particles might play a role in facilitating metastasis. This paints a sobering picture. Microplastics are not passive passengers. They actively interact with our biology, setting in motion processes that could, over years or decades, contribute to the emergence and progression of cancer. As the evidence grows, so does the urgency to find ways to protect ourselves. But amidst these troubling revelations, there is a glimmer of hope, possibly already sitting in your kitchen cabinet. Enter turmeric and its star component, curcumin. For centuries, turmeric has been revered in traditional medicine, and now modern science is catching up, uncovering its remarkable properties as an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant powerhouse. In a 2017 study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology, scientists found that curcumin could significantly reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in human microvascular endothelial cells exposed to environmental particulates. This means that curcumin doesn't just act as a passive shield. It actively intervenes in the very processes that microplastics seem to disrupt. Curcumin neutralizes harmful free radicals, helping to prevent the DNA and protein damage that can lead to cancerous mutations. It also calms the immune system, dialing back the inflammatory response that otherwise creates fertile ground for tumors. What's more, curcumin's benefits may extend beyond simple prevention. Clinical studies suggest that it can slow the growth of cancer cells, interfere with the signals they use to multiply, and even help sensitize tumors to chemotherapy and other treatments. While more rigorous clinical trials are needed, especially in the context of microplastic exposure, the early data is promising. Turmeric, black pepper, and olive oil work in synergy all the time. Of course, no single food or supplement can eliminate the risks posed by microplastics. Reducing our overall exposure by filtering drinking water, minimizing use of single-use plastics, and supporting efforts to clean up our environment remains crucial. But integrating protective nutrients like curcumin into our diets may offer an additional layer of defense, helping our bodies cope with the unprecedented challenges of the modern world. As science continues to reveal the hidden dangers of microplastics, it is clear that our relationship with plastic must change, both at the societal and personal levels. The good news is that we are not powerless. By staying informed, making mindful choices, and harnessing the protective power of nature's pharmacy, we can take meaningful steps to safeguard our health. In the end, the story of plastic in our blood is not just one of danger, it is also a call to action. It reminds us that while we cannot control every aspect of our environment, we can control how we respond. By supporting our bodies with the right foods, nutrients, and lifestyle choices, we can strengthen our natural defenses and help ensure a healthier future for ourselves and generations to come.